everyone who want to get into the farming game. Welcome. I can't say that I blame anyone because when I looked at it one day and thought, you know what, I'd love to do that and I want to continue that, I was excited and I still am every day to get out there and start producing and continue continue doing what we do. And I know that some people, this will be the first generation that you're doing this, and I can honestly say for myself, it's very rewarding seeing an animal that you raised yourself to the best of your ability, or plants that you grew for yourself that you're feeding to people for healthy eating. It's just, it's very, very rewarding, and it's something that you're going to feel when you are in the middle of the season and you're getting stressed out and you're tired from doing work and working all day. It makes it all worth it. And I can't say that I would want to do anything else. So welcome, and it's an exciting thing. And here's a couple tips that I found very, very beneficial that I used. And a lot of these things don't stop when you first start out. These things we are continuously doing every year to continuously build and continuously make your operation more efficient. And that's what you want to do to make money. And let's not forget here, this is not volunteer service. We are here to make money too. Number one, well, first step in really starting your farm or figuring out what you want to do is education. So read on crops you want to do, or read on animals that you want to raise, what it takes, what type of land you'll need. Education is the first step in saving you a lot of money. And we have a big advantage from our fathers and their fathers, and that is the internet. The amount that you can learn off the internet on niche crops, on just about everything, it's incredible. And you couldn't get that even 10 years ago. It just wasn't there. You'd have to go to a library. You'd have to read on books, and the information wasn't out there like it is now. YouTube is a prime example. A lot of things that I learn about, I would never have come up with myself. You have to admit, well, that's what I find, is you have to admit that there's people who are smarter than you and are doing it better than you. And if you can do that, you can see the best way to do things. Evaluate how they're doing it. See what you like about it. See what you don't. And adapt that to your operation. And it's going to put you a lot farther ahead. So, education, number one. Two, so you've done a lot of reading, you've watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and now you're getting excited, right? You're starting to see what you'd like to do in your farm and what you'd like to produce or what you'd like to grow. And my big suggestion is to find your niche. So find a group of people or a clientele that are looking for a product that they can't currently find. Finding your niche is very, very important for agriculture, because if you can find a group that's not being supplied, that means you will be the first stop that they are going to go to when they are looking for that product. It is going to put you in a position where you already have clients to buy your product before it's grown. And that's a big step, because a lot of people get excited about a product and say, you know what, I could do this, I could grow that. And they go to grow it, and then there's not a clientele that's willing to pay for that product for the cost that they produced it, and they're out that money. You got to find the clients before you produce it. If you can do that, you're on your way. Even if they don't sign anything, you just got to have your ear to the ground and hear about people saying, you know what, I wish I could find that, or I wish I could get my hands on some of that, but it's just not around. If you start hearing that and it's something that's viable in your area, you have a great product that might be a home run, and you can produce that product. Number three is experiment with everything. If you want to get more effective and more efficient in farming, experimentation is a great way to go. What we do is, let's say we have a product. I'm going to use the example of vegetables. So I'm a vegetable guy and I want to produce a crop, a row crop. So I'm thinking, how am I going to get rid of weeds? So I try scuffing. So if people that don't know, corn scuffing was very big before sprays. And what it is, it's a little thing that gets dragged behind the tractor and it kicks up the small weeds before the crop gets a stand and can cover the soil, stopping the weeds. Now, let's say I want to see how effective it is compared to my normal product. So I'm going to do a small area where I'm going to corn scuff between the vegetable rows, and I'm going to do an area like what I normally do as my main crop. I'm going to see the yield difference between the two, and I would make the experiment a lot smaller than your normal crop. And if it works great, then I would try and implement that into my system next year. If it doesn't work, then you're only out a small amount. And that's a great way to kind of experiment and learn and see what works and what doesn't. And this is something that you can do every year. If you have a little small area that you're trying something, you can learn a lot and move forward and make it so that you can implement in your operation if it works. So the fourth step in starting your own little farm and becoming more efficient is to start small. And I know this contradicts a lot of views in agriculture, but I believe that it is possible. You just have to learn to use your land more efficiently than conventional guys, because the issue is if you start small, you can use small machinery. Small machinery is typically cheaper. You can use less seed, and you can more intensively manage. That way of producing is a lot more cost effective. You do not need to rent anywhere near as much land, and you can become effective and figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And if you can do that, then you're out a lot less money. And that's a key part in inputs, because you don't want to be skimping. You don't want to be saying, you know what, I can't afford to produce it halfway through the season. Oh crap, I don't have enough money. You have to start small, produce it really good, and then grow slowly, or grow at a pace where you can pay for it all and keep getting bigger and bigger.